You guys asked for it, so I made it happen. We've got some epic Penterror gameplay for Elestral's mobile app. Let's take a look. Alright, so we posted on our last video a gameplay of me using Stratomoth, and I saw some comments, and you were guys like, hey, use Penterror, let me see you guys rock with that. And we have our new UI updates. You guys are going to see parts of that in this gameplay. Super excited. Let me know what deck you want to see next in the comment section below, and let's do the deck breakdown and then jump into the game. So in terms of the deck, it's pretty much a win package. I've got 3 Arrow Mares, which is just going to serve as a good kind of bulk there. We've got Sorlet as an offensive attacker, and then Hydrake, of course, the core of the deck. The objective is get Hydrake to the field and begin utilizing its effect, where when destroyed in battle, it can summon out or cast out a Twindra, and when Twindra is destroyed in battle, you can cast out a Penterror. It's a turbo strategy to get Penterror to the field, and Penterror, when it's destroyed by a card effect, it actually can regenerate Hydrakes and Twindras, which is what'll happen in this gameplay that makes it really cool. I've got some P-Gusts in there as well, which will allow you to just destroy runes, and then you've got Exaltair, just a Tecton Exaltair, which allows you to do Nexus to deal some damage. One of the cool things about the win package is the Divine Rune Aeolus allows you to search out those different Elestrals, your win package, very easily, so that makes things very nice. So those Aeolus can do that pretty straightforward. You've got Gorgon, we'll actually talk runes first. You've got Earthquake there for some Elestral removal, Ambrosia, 3 of those because this deck is very spirit intensive. Nectar of the Gods just gives you some drawing power. Drops of Leaf does the same thing, but gives you a little bit more forgiveness when it comes to drawing into those Twindras and Penterrors, which you don't want to draw. I've got Tornado there for some rune control as well to go with P-Gus. It's a very fast rune play. And then our counter setup is very extensive. We've got 3 Gorgon's Gaze to stop any potential Elestral effects. Last thing I want to do is run into like a Kinleo or something. Tsunami is going to prevent those attacks and slow my opponent down to give me an opportunity to set up the field that I want. Shield of Achilles is going to bounce things back, and then Poison Tipped Arrow is just more Elestral removal. So this deck is very hyper offensive. It involves getting Hydrake to the field quickly, trying to get out Penterror, and then just start to blow things back. You do have to be really mindful of runes though, so oftentimes it does make sense to allow Penterror to hit the field and maybe hold off on attacking until you can control those runes. But with Aeolus being able to search out P-Gus, Tornado being able to bounce things back, I think we have a pretty good solid strategy here moving into the gameplay. So let's dive in. So this game is against Wirtz, who's an Elestrals YouTuber, and I'm not gonna lie, this was probably one of the most hyped games I've played of Elestrals, and again, we've got the new UI. I'm gonna flip the coin, I'm gonna get heads first, and I'm gonna select to go first, and you can see my hand consists of a handful of different things. Primarily, the Hydrake is the biggest thing, so I'm gonna cast Hydrake right into attack. In hindsight, I probably should have played Nectar of the Gods first, just because there was really no downside to playing it first and see more of my options were, but I was confident that I was gonna play Hydrake, especially since I was looking for Hydrake Penterror gameplay for you guys, so I knew that that was gonna be the focal point there. But at that point, I know, okay, I don't really have any back row. Tornado's an Invoke, Aeolus is a Divine. I really don't want to use Aeolus right now because I have the piece that I need, which is the Hydrake. So let's just hold off. We'll use those as bluffs, as counter runes, or pretend counter runes essentially, and let's just pass the turn to Wirtz here. So Wirtz is gonna drop the Nectar of the Gods as well, draw 2 cards, make things really easy for him, and I see that there's a potential that he's running an Earth deck at this point in time, and it's confirmed right now. Sprouter hits the field, that allows him to search out his artifact, and he grabs Scythe of Demeter, which is a very scary card because I know it's gonna make him a lot stronger, and I'm also aware at this time that he probably has Earthquake, and if he has Earthquakes, then I have to be very mindful of that because I do not want to lose my Hydrake or my Twindra to an Earthquake. So we're gonna have to be strategic in how we play this. I say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna cast my Sorlet. I want to go aggressive here. This is, it's almost certain that he's gonna have something to respond to this, but I'm gonna just try it. Let's ping this. We're gonna switch the position of the Sprouter so that way I can attack it, and then I'm going to attack it with my Sorlet, because Sorlet's ability allows you to change the position of Elestral on the opposing side of the field if it's not wind enchanted. In this context, my opponent, I believe, chooses to let the Sprouter go down and allow me to hit directly. So it makes me think, okay, there's a good chance that Wirtz does not actually have back row right now, but then he Shield of Achilles my Hydrake. So he decides to let his Sprouter go down, but obviously does not allow me to keep that Hydrake on the field. So it tells me that he probably doesn't have Earthquake in his hand as well, at least at this stage of the game, but he's also probably running 2 or 3 of them. So I have to kind of keep all these things in the back of my head. I've got 2 Hydrakes in the field, I've got my Sorlet, I feel good, but then Hephaestus hits the field, and that gives him another search into Scythe, or potentially something else, right? Like he may be running more than just Scythe, and he actually is running Hammer of Hephaestus as well. So I see that. Here comes the Viscerus onto the field, and I'm like, all right, I'm actually kind of in a little bit of trouble right now. And now Hammer of Hephaestus with Hephaestus means that I can't target his Viscerus. So he's gonna take out my Sorlet here as a result of that. I don't have any counter runes to do with this because I'm bluffing, and it allows him to get out a second Viscerus into defense position. So now his board looks all of a sudden absurdly scary, and I'm in a very challenging position, right? Like, this is not where I want to be. And I say, okay, what do I do here? I have Gorgon's Gaze. I know I'm going to set that face down. That's going to be a really good strategy for me. Then I'm thinking, okay, I can cast Tornado here, and I can blow back the face down. So that way I know exactly what I'm getting myself into. I know what his field is now. There's no questions in my mind about what the field in front of me is. This is my opportunity. I have a clear path to Penterror. I'm going to throw my Hydrake down, and I'm just going to ram it into his Viscerus and say, you know what, it's all good if I go down, and that's exactly what's going to happen. He's forced to destroy me. As a result, he can get his own Viscerus out at this point if he would like to, but, you know, I'm pretty free to just stack the field with my, Twindra here. Twindra only has 5 attacks, so it's going to be the same exact scenario. I can now ram my Twindra into the Viscerus and destroy myself again and get my Penterror out. So this is a very cool strategy. If you picked up a Penterror starter deck, you're going to be pumped because Penterror is really fun to play. It's also the strongest Elestral in the game in terms of attack stat. And you can see very quickly I can get my Penterror onto the field with all 3 spirits in one turn, but it didn't come at no cost, right? Like, I lost my Hydrake, I lost my Twindra. Luckily, I didn't take any damage as a result, but then I can fire back, take out the Viscerus, and deal 2 damage on the swing there, and put myself in a much better situation. We do have a little bit of a visual bug there with the yellow. We're gonna fix that. We just loaded our new UI, so no worries there, but my opponent is gonna draw, and he draws into Earthquake, and that was the thing I was worried the most about. However, that does trigger Penterror's effect. So I'm saying, okay, what do I do here, right? Like, he just took out my Penterror right away. I'm gonna just throw a Twindra out there, because to me, if I can get my second Penterror onto the field, there's actually a chance I can still win this game, because I obviously went big to try to get Penterror onto the field. So I realize at this point I only have, you know, this is my last win spirits. I'm like very low on spirits. I'm in a very difficult situation. I say, you know what, I'm also going to grab a Hydrake. Did I grab the Hydrake or did I say no? I think I left the Hydrake. I decided to just stick to the Twindra. And ultimately, my opponent ends up ascending their Viscerus into, say, Timber. And then they drop the Trident of Poseidon, which means that I'm not going to be able to target them with counter runes. I had debated on playing Gorgon's Gaze. I was actually eating lunch at the same time. And I said, you know what, I'm not going to play Gorgon's Gaze here because I had taken too long to respond, and I felt it was a little awkward if I had played Gorgons on the Ascension announcement before the Trident, like in chain to Trident. So I said, you know what, let's just let him kind of have the play. It's fine. He still destroys me. I still get my Penterror out. I misenchanted Penterror, which is kind of funny. So that means I don't have an effect. And my opponent gets their effect as well. Their Say Timber is going to be able to special ascend into Centaur right now. They Nexus all these spirits over. I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, he's got this decked out Say Timber right now with all these spirits. And it doesn't even dawn on me that he's misenchanted at this point, but that is the case. He is also misenchanted. So neither of the 2 Titans, the 15 defense Centaur and the 15 attack Penterror, neither of them can even do anything to each other. And I'm thinking here, like, okay, what do I have? I need a Wind Spirit really badly. That is my only chance to come back in this game. I'm going to use a mechanic that we allow expend to draw. I can forego my normal cast this turn by expending a spirit to draw a card. So I do that, and then I'm like, I really can't do anything else. I think I just lose, pretty much. I need a Wind Spirit to be able to get Sorlet onto the field, so that way I can use Sorlet's effect to change the position of Centaur and ultimately put myself in a place where I can, you know, attack it with Penterror and win the game. I don't get that. My opponent has no spirits left. I'm drawing, they're drawing. It's a race for Ambrosia. That is what this comes down to. It comes down to a race for Ambrosia. The first player to draw Ambrosia is going to win. My opponent decides to utilize 2 spirits that exist on the field from the Centaur and the Hephaestus to use Nectar of the Gods. We are both playing the same game right now. We both need Ambrosia to win the game. So my opponent plays Words, tries to grab 2 things off of that. He can use the spirit from Centaur to play Ambrosia, but he doesn't have Ambrosia clearly, and I'm just drawing all my Elestrals. I'm getting like the worst draws ever. That just seems to be how things are going. But I know that I can win if I get Ambrosia, and I get Ambrosia. And I'm like, that is what I needed right there. That was the draw I needed. I had 3 in my deck, as you guys saw. So we had basically a 1 in 7 chance, a 1 in 8 chance to get that at that point. And that's gonna give me my 3 wind spirits back, exactly what I needed. And I have 2 choices here, but the play is to play Sorlet. I do cast Sorlet to the field, and then I'm gonna utilize Sorlet's effect to change the position of the Centaur, so that way it can go into attack position, and that way Penterror can destroy it in battle, and that way Sorlet can deal the final blow for the game. And that is going to be that. We're going to be able to walk away with this one. Now, my opponent could, in theory, have a counter rune, but they would have to use the spirits from Centaur, which they would not have enough spirits to keep Centaur on the field and stop me from doing anything outside of like a Tsunami. But then I would win anyway, and Tsunami wouldn't work against Penterror, so it wouldn't have mattered too much. So we're going to walk away with this one in an epic battle with Misenchanted Penterror taking down a Centaur that was also misenchanted. Kind of cool. That was truly a really epic game, and it was the first game I ended up playing on the new UI, so very excited about that. Let me know what deck you want to see next, and you guys can leave a comment, like the video, and of course subscribe to the Elestrals channel, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace. If you enjoyed this gameplay, definitely check out this gameplay video right here. Otherwise, this video is pretty sweet too. Don't forget to subscribe.